Every now and then there is talk of Celtic and Rangers going down to England and joining the English Football League, and there's always a lot of discussion around how they would perform. Now, instead of doing that, I have combined the two along with the rest of the best players playing in Scotland and placed them in each of the top 4 leagues in England, from the Premier League down to League 2. This is following on from my Team of the Season versus Best of the Rest cinch Premiership video. I've now combined the two teams. This suggestion was actually from Preposterous93, and if, like them, you have any cool video ideas that you would like to see, then let me know in the comments down below. A quick look at the squad in case you are not aware and you haven't seen that video. I suggest you do go back and have a look at the end of this one. Players highlighted on screen were the players in the cinch Premiership Team of the Season, and all of the rest of them were players that we used to make up the rest of the squads in that video. There is Joe Hart, Cameron Carter-Vickers, James Tavernier, Greg Taylor, Calum McGregor, Rio Hatate, Malik Tillman, Kevin Van Veen, Kyogo Furuhashi, Duke and Lawrence Shankland. The rest of the players we added in, and Alfredo Morelos, who's no longer at Rangers but is down the bottom here. With manager of the 2022-23 league season Ange Postecoglou and now Spurs boss in charge of this Southampton side, in League 2 they are predicted to go straight up. If they even lose a game, to be honest, looking at the odds, at 1-91, then it's a travesty. I would expect them to break the record points haul. If you don't understand what 1-91 means, if you were to put on a bet and you put on £91, you would only get an extra £1 back. That's how likely it is to happen in the Team of the Season. Surprisingly, there is actually players from other teams. There is Jordan Gibson from Carlisle, he must be pretty good, and also Logan Chalmers, formerly of Dundee United. Very, very bizarre. The rest is made up from our lot. I should also mention that unfortunately Southampton have been completely wiped from this simulation. Everyone else who won the leagues have been moved up a division. It was just easier, alright? Get off my back. And as suspected, the Scottish League 11 has absolutely romped to the title in the Sky Bet League 2. They lost one game, which is a surprise. However, they ended the league season with 123 points and a goal difference of plus 90. The League 2 points record haul total is actually only 99. So they've goodness me, shocking from me. They've beat that by 24 points. That's a lot of games. Kyogo Furuhashi finished as joint top goal scorer with Lille Abada, both obviously of Celtic in real life. Shout out to Andy Cook though, who sneaks in third of Bradford City. Best average rating, no surprise, Lille Abada. Then Jota, now of Saudi Arabia. Connor Goulton, then third best. Probably a stalwart in the centre-back position in what will be the best defence in the league. Top assists, Lille Abada and Jota, with Will Randall joint in second of Sutton United, who got promoted. Player of the Match awards, the most won by Jota, then nobody else from us because Jota was clearing the rest of them up. Most clean sheets, Joe Hart, 22, 4 more than Vitoslav Jarosz in second. And disciplinary wise, we were quite good, surprisingly. And that's despite having Alfredo Morelos in the squad. Incredibly surprisingly though, they actually got rid of 2 players despite there being a transfer embargo, that meaning that we couldn't bring any players in. Carl Starfelt went on loan to Rangers. He plays for Celtic in real life if you don't know, which is shocking. And Borna Barisic went to Liga Lyon. Also very surprising given some of his performances in most recent times. A lot of goals were scored, shared round throughout the competitions. Furuhashi, Lille Abada and then Jota down in 14. So our third top goal scorer still had 14. We had 5 in double figures. Alfredo Morelos popped up with 11, and that's only in 14 starts. Sead Haksabanovic with 10, then even then there's Tillman and McGregor on 9. Aaron Moy got 10 assists throughout the whole league season, and most importantly, Duke. 3 goals, 4 assists, that's not him. 3 goals, 1 assist. John Ludstrom had a more impressive season, so... Oh, that's not helping the agenda, but if it stops people buying in from Aberdeen, then I'm happy. We didn't play in the Papa John's Trophy for whatever reason. I forgot to adjust that prior to starting off the simulation. Knocked out in the third round of the FA Cup by AFC Wimbledon, bit disappointing, and knocked out in the 4th round by Liverpool, less disappointing in the Carabao Cup. League 2 Golden Glove was obviously won by Joe Hart.
It is decent!
Lee Labada won Player of the Year in League 2. And somehow Ange Postecoglou was not Manager of the Year. That instead went to Ben Garner. I'm not sure how that happened, but let's see how Ange's side do in League 1. Well, they are exactly the same odds to win League 1, which is a surprise. I thought it would maybe be a little bit less, but clearly they're all better than League 1. Who's shocked? However, Wes Burns and Marvin Johnson, both 2 players who played in the Cinch Premiership, maybe not Cinch Premiership at the time, but the top flight in Scotland, in the Media Dream 11. So I'm actually claiming that as a victory for Scotland rather than anything else. I'll never forget when Wes Burns scored with his first touch for Aberdeen and then just did nothing else the rest of his time there. I'm pretty sure he's a Welsh international now. Mental. And whilst the Scottish League 11 do indeed win the league title in League 1, they don't break the League 1 points haul. That's 103. I believe it was set by Wolverhampton. It was 101. They lost 5 games. That's a surprise. Maybe at the end of the season when the league was all wrapped up. After all, they did win the league by 19 points over Ipswich in second. Kyogo Furuhashi was, however, pipped to the League 1 top goal scorers title by Smith. They were joint, however, presumably the minutes per goal was better for Smith. Ben House a close second, however, with 16 goals. Jota, Lee Labada and Connor Goldson, the top 3 average ratings throughout the league once again. Surprisingly though, James Tavernier not finishing with the most assists. In fact, none of our players at all. Instead, it was Cameron Humphreys of Ipswich. That's probably why they finished second. Nobody at all in the amount of Player of the Match awards won. Clean sheets, well, that explains all the Player of the Matches for C. Rushworth, as they also got promoted, Lincoln City. 25, beating Joe Hart's 21. And shout out to Sean Rooney, the Raj that he is. 15 yellow cards, the most in the league season in League 1 under Scott Brown at Fleetwood Town. I'm not surprised in any way, shape or form. This time, however, the only departure from the Team of the Season bracket subscribe was Lawrence Shankland, who got loaned to Peterborough United. He scored 3 goals in 13 games, and I think he's agreed to transfer there. Okay, fair enough, Lawrence. Well, see if you get more penalties at Peterborough than you would here. Absolutely nothing special in the Cups, however, in this season. Knocked out in the 3rd round of the FA Cup by Millwall, and knocked out in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup by Newcastle United. I can do so much better than that. I don't know why it was so bad. I've just got family from there. Newcastle United. There you go. That was better. You're welcome. No surprise as Jota won Player of the Year in League 1.
Let me tell you something. What a f***ing right.
The Golden Glove not won by Joe Hart but by Carl Rushworth. And Ange Postecoglou pipped to Manager of the Year once again. Mark Kennedy of Lincoln City winning it instead. I think it's probably because everyone just expects Ange to win the league at this level with all the players at his disposal. Well, that sounds a lot like Scotland, actually. Should have been Barry Robson Manager of the Year. But maybe Ange will win it this year. The odds have been slashed from 1 to 91 to only 4 to 11. It's a big differential. However, we are still odds on favourites. Mark Albrighton has ended up in the Team of the Year. The lad from Coventry, whose name I'm not going to pronounce, that they've just sold, is in there as well. Joe Hart, Jay Horter, or whoever else I had as the goalkeeper, Kel Roos, not in the Media Dream 11. This fella is likewise Hassan Kamara from Watford and Kai Naismith, Scottish. So, you know, it's a bit more balanced, there's a bit more parity. However, I still expect us to win, and I still think there's a good chance of our record points haul. Can we make it 2 of 3? No. In short, however, they still won the league by 20 points over Norwich and then Watford, who were in 3rd. 4 games lost across the league season. It's actually an improvement from the League 1 season, which is a surprise, but they were 4 short of the points haul total. Reading, 106 points once upon a time. However, very, very impressive nonetheless. Top goal scorer was Jacob Brown, Scottish internationalist. We will take that. Ismail Assar then in second with Kyogo Furuhashi. 18 goals, that's still pretty good. 46 games, 18 goals, and it will have been shared amongst the rest. Probably Jota, 7.35 average rating, probably player of the year. No players near it in the assist chart, no one in the top 3, nor player of the matches. Mark Albrighton was brilliant, but Joe Hart did reign supreme with one more clean sheet than Tomasz Vaclik and Wes Fodringham, formerly of Rangers. Joe Hart picking up 22, and unfortunately no SPFL jobbers in the most yellow cards. And this time Lawrence Shankland joined Ipswich, presumably in January. 4 goals in 12 games for them. And Greg Taylor simply loves Celtic. He went back there, 2 games, didn't play much. Who's their left back? It was just Alexandro Bernabei. They didn't do anything exciting. And neither did we in cup competitions. Knocked out by Premier League Wolves in the third round of the FA Cup, no surprise. A bit disappointingly knocked out in the second round of the Carabao Cup by Watford though. At least Elton John will be happy in his retirement. And as we suspected, Jota won Player of the Year for the Championship season. There's a young Player of the Year, and it was Lil Abada. The Golden Glove for Joe Hart. But did Postecoglou win Manager of the Year? I suspect so. Finally, he did. So as the competition grew better, well, Ange got the plaudits he deserved. Well done, very good, mate. The season preview suggests that team of the season from Scotland and the best of the rest are going to be relegated. They are 700 to 1 to win the Premier League, worse than Bournemouth, Brentford and Nottingham Forest. I think that is harsh. However, I do think it will be a tough ask for the side to stay in the league. But you never know, maybe they keep Lawrence Shankland around. Well, would you look at that. Team of the season finished 9th in the Premier League, right? So, Football Manager, clearly have no idea what's going on. You know, sometimes it's realistic, sometimes it's not.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
And for all you, my nan could score that many goals in the cinch Premiership. Well, decent. We're actually alright at football. The quality's not that bad. If only Sky would actually show other teams other than Celtic Rangers games that actually matter, then maybe you'd be able to see instead of Celtic beating Ross County 5-0. End of rant. This time, however, absolutely nobody in the player stats in the top lot, so we'll have a look at our stats individually. The now retired in real life Aaron Moy played the most games in the Premier League season, 44 appearances, not bad if you ask me. However, the highest average rating, Lil Abada, he's been consistently very, very, very good. Calum McGregor a close second with Goldson and Jota, both also averaging above 7. Top goal scorer for the season, Kyogo Furuhashi, 16 goals in the Premier League is pretty darn good. Lil Abada with 11, Jota 9, and then a few others amongst single figures. And the top assistman was Rio Hatate, pardon me. Aaron Moy, however, also had 7, Lil Abada 6, a few players on 4, 3, 2 and 1. Pretty well rounded, and that's why we finished 9th. And ever so slightly better in cups, I guess, both times knocked out by Premier League sides, fair enough, in the 5th round by Everton, and in the 3rd round, a bit more disappointingly, well actually no, they're both really bad. Leeds United knocks out the Carabao Cup. Why have I been saying we when it's mainly Celtic and Rangers players? Herd mentality against the English shit talkers. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. And well, I was just going to look at the awards, not expecting anything at all, but we had a player in at least one of the Team of the Weeks, so that must count for something. Cameron Carter-Vickers was the man. Golden Glove, Joe Hart, nowhere to be seen, unfortunately. No players left, by the way, at all. Mo Salah, well done, Footballer of the Year. Manager of the Year, no, not Ange Postecoglou, not a surprise. There's a lot of awards. Yeah, no, Bukayo Saka, well done, congratulations. No, we knew that. And Young Player of the Month, Lil Abada won 1 at the end of the season. So well done, Lil. Congratulations. But there we have it for this particular Football Manager 2023 experiment. We can conclude that we would do better in the English Premier League as a collective than people would maybe think. Mid-table, well, absolutely take that. If you've enjoyed the video, please do let me know by leaving a like on it. Subscribe for plenty more bangers like this. There's going to be one every Thursday for the time being. That may be subject to change, but you'll just have to stay around to find out. Ring the notification bell, it'll tell you. And comment down below with any ideas like Preposterous 93 did for this one. It helps me out and you get to see what you want to see. What's not to love? Thanks very much once again and take care.